Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're giving you our gift guide and the 2 best bottles to give anybody as a present.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking gifts. It's December. I mean, who doesn't love gifts, right?
Who doesn't love a good gift?
I guess some people don't. That's not their love language.
It's not my love language, but I'll still take a gift.
Okay, there we go. We're talking whiskey gifts specifically. But before we get into the whiskey gift topic, we have to get into our new segment, the first sip. So this is something new we're trying. We want to be able to work through more blind samples, and we always do our blind head-to-heads once a week, but we also want to incorporate our blind tastings into single sample reviews. So the way this works is we take 8, 10, 12 different products that are kind of in a comparable range. We put them into a single sample pool, blind. It's labeled on the bottom, but we don't know what it is. Some are available, some are allocated. As always, we're trying to figure out if the available stuff is worth the money. And if it's allocated, is it worth the hype? So what we're going to do is we're going to get this poured. I'm going to make sure I'm covering up that sticker on the bottom. And we are going to give you guys a blind review on whatever is in this glass.
And the key with these is that in this pool, this first sip, or is that what we're calling it?
The first sip
blinds, it's things we've never had before.
Right, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, these are products we've never had before.
So our very first sip ever of whatever these are.
Right, and that is including single barrels of products we may have had before, like different store picks and things like that. So those are not excluded, but we try not to include too many of those because they could be on profile and we may not know that.
Right.
But if it's something of interest enough to be entered in, it will be. But by and large, most of these are things that we have absolutely never tried before at all. That's the whole point of it. So let's get into it. Cheers.
Cheers. This is one of the first times I'm getting a green banana.
Really?
I'm getting it.
I'm getting green apple.
I'm getting the banana smell.
Okay. I'm getting the nose is quite nice. It smells really rich, green apple, syrupy sweetness. Really nice.
Ooh. It's kind of bright flavor-wise. It's bright and tingly.
Oh.
Ooh, and then it's kind of warm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of concentrated sweetness right up on the tip of the tongue. A really fruity sweetness.
And then it's like on the roof of my mouth.
With a syrupy depth that's like right there behind it. I didn't get as much on the finish as I thought I was going to get based on the way it approached the front of the palate. Take one more sip.
I got more oak on the second sip.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more oak on the second sip. Ooh, kind of caught me right there, yeah.
You breathe in through your mouth, it's kind of like fire.
Yeah. It's got like a nice, what I would think would be kind of like a rye spice right there in the middle of the tongue. I'm not thinking it's necessarily a rye. It might be a low percentage rye or a high rye bourbon. It's really coming through. It coats really well. It's very viscous. It kind of drinks like something pretty special, to be quite honest.
It kind of does. But it smells like regular to me.
See, it has all the regular notes, but it's amped up. It's deeper and richer than you would normally get on just your run-of-the-mill product on the shelf, I think.
This is good though. Whatever this is, I like it.
Okay, if you're ready, go ahead and give us some ratings. Nose, flavor, experience.
Thumbs up across the board. Thumbs up on nose, flavor, and experience. Okay. I liked it. It was very solid. What about you? You got something?
Ooh, man. Yeah. I'm actually going to give it 2 thumbs up on the nose because it's really packing a lot on the nose. These are very concentrated. I'm going to give it a thumbs up on the flavor. I do really like the flavors there. They're not 100% to my preference, but I do really like what's there. And then I'll give it thumbs up on the experience as well. I quite like the experience.
Yeah.
That I could almost be talked into a 2 thumbs up. I maybe just want a little bit more out of it in that regard. But not much. Like it's very, very close to pushing into 2 thumbs up on the experience for me. If this were an available product, we don't know what it is or how much it costs yet. But if this product were sitting on a shelf in front of you and the price was reasonable, would you want to buy it?
Can I determine what reasonable is to me?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would. If it was a reasonably priced bottle for my budget, then yes, I would want to buy it again. I like it.
Yeah, whatever this is, I would really like a bottle of it. I feel like that's not going to be a possibility. Let's find out what it is. So typically we have a key that we check on our double blind head-to-heads. We don't have that on this. We just have it labeled on the bottom. So let's see what we got. Parker's Heritage Heavy Char Rye.
It is a rye.
It is a rye, but it's heavy char, which is imparting all that much more like sweetness and richness to it. That was the curveball. I think Parker's rye is already a low percentage rye as it stands. And then you put that heavy char on it. Yeah.
It's good. So is this...
this is a special release product for sure.
So we can't get this.
No, we can't. So this sample is a generous sample from Top Dog, John and his wife Renee. This amazing sample, great product.
Yeah.
We just looked at, in the magic of cutting, we took a second to look it up. So this is 105 proof.
Okay.
And it's $150.
Oh.
It is a one-time only release, like it was the 2019 special Parker's Heritage release.
So even if I had $150, I couldn't get it unless I could find that exact release bottle. Okay.
So we have a retail category, which is the price and the availability. Obviously, the availability being a one-time release item and a higher price tag because of that.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. It tastes good enough that I would actually give it a just okay on retail rating. I think I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. But I think if I'm being honest, we have to go thumbs down on retail rating just because it's not available.
You can't get it.
Yeah.
If you could get it and it was still that higher price tag, then I would go just okay.
Right.
But since you can't get it and it is a little higher price tag, you got to go thumbs down.
Now here's the real question. Our consumer category, that's whether you'd buy it again or not. So you just so happen to be walking into a store somewhere and they have one of these sitting in the back and they say, hey, Erin, here's a Parker's Heritage Heavy Char Rye for $150. Are you buying it for that price or not?
I'm going to go with no.
You're going thumbs down?
Thumbs down because there are other drinks that I like just as much.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, they don't taste the same, but I like them as much.
Yeah.
That I could have and be perfectly fine with that are cheaper.
Yeah. I would actually go thumbs up on this, personally speaking, just because I like it and I feel like it's unique and it stands out as something special. So this is a little bit of us here. I'm more inclined to spend a little bit more on a bottle than Erin is.
A little bit.
All right, so let's get into our main topic.
Okay.
And that is gifting whiskey or whiskey gifts. First and foremost, we're just going to come out with our stance on this. This is a little bit of our personal projection onto this, but
this is our channel, so.
It is. Unless you know somebody and you know that they want something very specifically, like you got an Amazon wish list or they have spoken to you that they want this, that, or the other, don't buy them stuff. Like
whiskey trinkets.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Like the jiggers or some gift set or something
whiskey
like
accessories,
that. Yeah. Or the thing that comes to mind to me right off the bat is the stones, the whiskey stones that you put in the freezer and then you put in your glass so that it chills your whiskey without
watering it down,
and then you drink it and you crack your tooth or something. So just put your whiskey in the freezer.
Unless the person you're getting the gift for has specifically requested a specific little accessory. Yeah. Steer clear of those.
Right. Because if they haven't and you get them something, there's a high likelihood it's probably going to end up getting regifted down the road or maybe even just thrown away or sold in a yard sale or something. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. Just get them whiskey. If they like whiskey, get them whiskey. Okay? Whiskey is a fantastic gift. Yeah. Every time they pull that bottle out, they're going to think about you. And then if they can get the bottle again, and hopefully they can, then they're going to be able to then go and get that bottle once it's out and continue to remember you by. Now, I can hear you right now. I don't know what whiskey they want. And I don't know what whiskey to buy them and all those things. Yep. And that's valid. Okay. Now, I have a really sneaky strategy to get around this. Okay. Ask them what whiskey they want. Okay. Very novel concept.
Just blew my mind.
It's a very novel concept, but just ask. And there actually is kind of a sneaky way to do this. If you're hanging out with them or talking with them, tell them you're shopping for whiskey. Once you're shopping for whiskey for them. And then say, hey, what's your favorite whiskey? And the key question, and why do you like it so much? What is it about it that you like?
So why is that the key question?
Because that will dictate what you should get them. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about the 4 types of people that you might be gifting whiskey to,
Okay.
and the 2 whiskeys
You can get those
that you
each
might
type.
be getting each type of person. So actually you're going to get 8 whiskeys total, but don't buy all 8 of these. Buy the right whiskey for the right person. So this is all based on their answer to that question you ask. When you say, hey, what's your favorite whiskey and why do you like it so much? If they start talking about how smooth the whiskey is, okay, that's a specific type of whiskey drinker.
Okay.
And we're primarily bourbon and rye drinkers, so we're going to stay in that space. But the first things first, an honorable mention in this one specific category for Scotch, non-peated, something like a Glenlivet 18. It's going to run you a good chunk of money, over $100, but you should be able to find it. We've been gifted Glenlivet 18 before. It's a fantastic whiskey.
Delicious.
Or grab anything made by Macallan. Anything like that, you can't go wrong with any of that stuff.
Yep.
But we're going to get into the bourbon and rye wheelhouse.
Okay.
First up, and this is going to be the controversial thing right up front, Eagle Rare. Okay, if they like smooth whiskey, this is a smooth whiskey. Now, this is a hard to get whiskey. It's not a particularly great whiskey. It's very good, and it's a $30 whiskey. It drinks like a $30 whiskey, but it is very hard to get. Now, the rest of this list we want to be completely available and easy to find. The reason this is on the list is because it's not the most difficult product to find in a lot of markets. What I would recommend doing is being honest with your store owners, especially if you have a relationship, going in and let them know that you're buying this for a gift for someone. And even ask them outright. The way you get this in our market is by asking store owners, hey, when do your deliveries for Buffalo Trace products come in? And they'll tell you last weekend of the month, middle of the week. That's Nashville.
Yeah.
And if you go to a store on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the last week of the month, your likelihood of being able to get an Eagle Rare from a store owner, especially if you express the fact that you're trying to buy it as a gift for someone for Christmas or a birthday or whatever, you're probably going to get one. You may have to go to a few stores, do a little legwork, but you're only going to pay 30 something bucks. The rest of this list is going to be a little bit higher priced items that people might not normally spend on themselves. This is a lower priced item that people can't go spend on themselves because they can't actually find it.
Okay, smooth.
So this one has caveat. If you can't get Eagle Rare, just go buy a Blade and Bow. $50, great price point for a nice looking bottle that has like little trinkets on it. I think I took the key off this, but it's normally got a little cool key that hangs down. You know, there's a whole story on it. There's a lot of marketing behind it. And a lot of people haven't tried this or just can't get it maybe in their market. Do a little legwork. Find one of these for your smooth whiskey drinker. It's a great gift. All right, let's move on to the next category. You're past the smoothness, or they're past the smoothness, and now they want something more flavorful.
Or that's what they mentioned to you when they say that's what they like.
And they're talking about their favorite whiskey being very flavorful. So they're probably stepping up in the proof point a little bit. Now, I also have 2 honorable mentions for this category, and I would actually have included them as primaries, but they're not available in a lot of markets. And it would be John J. Bowman Single Barrel or Smoke Wagon Small Batch. Both beautiful bottles, both $50. Great. And if you can find them in your market, grab those as gifts. But we want to keep the rest of this list easy. Like Eagle Rare is in every market. It's just hard to get. Those 2 products just aren't in some markets, period. Gotcha. So first things first.
So if you can't get that and they say they like flavor, here's what you get.
4 Roses Single Barrel with a tag in the way. So this stuff, anything in this bottle shape from 4 Roses. Okay. This is a standard 100 proof, just sit on the shelf offering, 40 to 50 bucks in most markets. Absolutely fantastic, really candy sweet. We love this stuff. Yeah. We buy this ourselves. We've gotten this as gifts while we've had other bottles. Yeah. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. Like,
because it'll be something we'll keep drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's got, you get a hang tag, you get a really pretty bottle. All these have a certain level of presentation to them as well. So that will be our first choice for the reasonably priced pick. If you want to step it up from the reasonably priced pick to go into like an upper echelon, then Angel's Envy Rye. You are definitely getting flavor in this thing.
Flavor for sure.
Tons of sweetness. It's like a cookie cake, spice cake in a glass with some molasses and like syrupy sweetness underneath. fantastic bottle, run you about $100, should be available in almost every single market across the US and even internationally even. Great product. We got this as a gift. Absolutely love it. We'll continue to buy it. So that's for your flavorful whiskey drinkers. Now you're going up to the next step. And
well, if they say they like.
Right. If your person.
This isn't a step.
Yeah, it's not steps. So now you're dealing with your third type of person.
Yes.
And they're talking about the complexity of the whiskey and how layered and nuanced it is. Okay. That's a different type of person that just rather than flavorful or smooth. So this person is looking for some of that nuance and they want something that's a little bit more what I would call special.
Or complex.
Complex.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, they need to try some New Riff single barrel proof products.
Yeah, buddy.
This category is actually our category. This is what we like.
Yes.
And we slept on New Riff barrel proof single barrels for a really long time. Now, the beauty of these is that they're single barrels, so everyone's going to differ a little bit, but they're all going to be a little bit higher proof point than what we were dealing with before. We're stepping up to, this one's 106, this one's 112 proof, but these things inside of our blind tastings have just ran roughshod on the competition.
They have stood to the test.
Yeah.
They've stood up to the test.
They have.
Yeah.
So, and I think also a lot of people that are in the whiskey space really haven't given New Riff a chance.
Yeah.
Or they've maybe tried some of their lower proof products that don't have as much oomph as these do. But I would highly recommend checking these out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go for them for the longest time because I thought the bottle was just too modern. It looked off to me, but we keep these around. We just got that rye and it's over halfway gone.
I love this rye.
I mean, these things are standing up to the best of the best, some even crazy allocated products, and they're still hanging in there.
So and you get the complex flavors in there.
And they're coming in around $50 or $55, so it might be a little bit more money than somebody may have wanted to pay for something. So it's a nice gift in that regard.
Yep.
Now, let's say you want to step the price tag up even more than the New Riff, or maybe somebody already has New Riff. This is where your one-time limited release items come in. Now, obviously I said the Eagle Rare was going to be the only hard thing to get. These other products, they come and go in waves. Like they might be an annual release or a batch release, and then the next batch comes down the pipeline and the old batch is gone. So they do come and go, but they're always coming and going. Right. So if you can't get this batch, get the next batch that comes down the pipeline. And these are 3/4 of the best out there right now blending whiskey. So barrel craft spirits, barrel bourbon batches are fantastic. This is 27. You actually may be able to find this on shelves in your market, and it's dynamite. Batch 26 went all the way with Fred Minnick, biggest bourbon critic in the US, went all the way to the end of his 2020 Whiskey of the Year, Bourbon of the Year against Pappy Van Winkle 15.
Oh my gosh.
And nearly won that. Barrel is doing fantastic things with blending. Equally fantastic things with blending is Bardstown and their Discovery series. So look for this label right here. They have a more inexpensive series called a Fusion series that's not quite as good. It's not quite as complex, layered. It's probably more on the flavorful whiskey nerd angle, but this right here is going to give you that complexity. And then lastly, this is a Sam Houston 14, but right now the Sam Houston at 15 is what's on market, as is the Calumet 15, which is a very similar looking bottle with just some slightly different branding. So look for one of these limited releases for that person looking for that complexity and nuance in their pour. Now we're moving on to the person that says they like a powerhouse pour. They're talking about how big the proof is. They're talking about how punchy the flavors are. They're talking about their bottle essentially just beating them up while they're drinking it. And that's what they like. I also like that as well. So you want to get something that maybe they haven't gotten before, or even if they have tried it, you're going to get them a unique expression of it. So the answer here in our mind is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof Tennessee whiskey. You get tons of richness, tons of flavor in here. Your proof points drifting up over 130 most of the time. Huge pour, and also it's a beautiful bottle.
It
It
is.
makes a great gift.
Yeah.
And if you get a pick, it even comes inside of like this really cool box.
That's cool.
Maybe even the non-picks
Do
do
they all
too.
have these little tags?
No, only the store picks and group picks have the
Oh,
tag.
okay.
Look for a store pick in your area. And the good thing is even if they've had Jack Daniel's single barrel proof before, it doesn't matter because they're single barrels. So the
They're
one you
gonna
get
taste
them
different.
is going to be different. Fantastic product there. And then the second category for the big proof lovers is going to be a little bit esoteric, but this is MGP out of Indiana. They're light whiskey. Now, they source it to other people. This is from our market, from Jay Mattingly, and we have tons of these in our market. We have a little bit of a Obtainium light whiskey in our market, but Obtainium is in a lot more markets out there. You're looking at like 65 for the Jack Daniels. You're probably looking at about that much for an Obtainium light whiskey. These Jay Mattingly bottles in our area go up to about 110, 120, but you're getting them something that looks really nice.
Yeah.
And if they've not gone down the light whiskey road, boy, it is a ton of concentrated sweetness and really great flavors.
Yeah.
So that's our gifts. Just buy them whiskey, let them enjoy what you know that they enjoy.
We do have one exception though.
And that's our other stuff for this week. So there is one exception to not just buying
To the
whiskey.
accessories portion we
Correct.
talked about.
And it is our other stuff, a decanter. Okay? It's never not a good gift,
Yeah,
right?
if they drink at all, they can use a decanter.
Right. And even if they have a decanter, they can probably use another decanter.
Yeah.
So find them one that looks cool. This one was given actually as a gift to us.
Yeah, for our wedding.
When we got married.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. If you're curious about what's in here, it's JTS Brown. Absolutely awesome, inexpensive bottom shelf pour that tastes way better than its price point, and it looks much better in this decanter than
cool.
it does in its really cheap bottle. It's just an awesome experience, and they're beautiful to have around the house. You can't go wrong with that. And if you would feel like you're going wrong by not supporting the channel, then you can check the video description below for a link to our Patreon. It's a ton of fun over there. It's our community element. We've got blind tasting stuff over there. You get bonus content. We do 2 extra episodes a week. Our Stuffing Whiskey Uncut, where it's a little bit more loose and laid back. So tons of stuff to check out over there. Also, be sure to check out the video description below for our upcoming live stream. We love doing these things. They're once a month. And get in on the conversation. Join us for happy hour. And we always have like some kind of theme that goes with it as well to keep it fun and moving along.
Yep. And if you liked today's video, give it a good thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to us, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Come on, y'all.
Hit the button. It's not hard. It's free.
Do it.
If you don't like it, it's a money back guarantee.
Ooh, there you go.
Until next week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.